Thank you, Shane. It's nice to be here. Thank you for coming. It's always great to come to something and then have people turn up. Ha ha! We have you now. I'm Oliver. I will be here all day, apparently, unless something changes, but we'll see how we go. We've got a number of talks, and we're here to basically discuss soil health. Yay! One of my favorite topics. It's kept me employed for over 20 years. I still don't know the answers, but that's okay. But before we get into it, what is soil? When you think of soil, what do you think of? Dirt. Did you say dirt? Dirt. Great, isn't it? Doyle. Like a bit of dirt. Old mate of mine used to say, we've got to stop treating our soils like dirt. And I'd be absolutely spot on, Rocky. And sadly, he had a heart attack at 56 and stopped telling people that. But we think of it as dirt. Or we think of it as soil. We don't give it much value. Think of land. When you think of land, what do you think of? Dollar signs, price per hectare maybe, whatever. But soil, dirt, doesn't conjure up the same kind of ideas. But it is part and parcel. But what is that dirt? What is out there in your paddocks, on your hillsides, down in your creek beds? What is that dirt? What is it made of? Sorry?
Yeah, living microbes.
Oh, you want to go straight to the living microbes. All of that out there is living microbes. I imagine David Bellamy running around going, oh, lovely living microbes. Isn't it amazing? It's a breeding thing. Soil's a breeding thing. But what are they breeding in? What is at the heart of soil? It's your sand, isn't it? It's your silts. It's your clays. It's the bits of rock that are broken down over time to generate our wonderful soil landscape. And all of those bits of sand and silt and clay, they could be really lonely sometimes, couldn't they? You want to play a little game with me a minute? Fancy a bit of a quick game? Just get started, loosen up for the day, get the juices flowing. What do you reckon? You up for a bit of that? How about you all stand up for me? Oh, don't spill the coffee. Oh, no. Put it somewhere safe. Under chairs is always good. Okay. What do we know about sand and silt and clay? Well, we know that the sand is pretty giganagarous by comparison to the sedimentary bits, the silty bits. They're a bit smaller. And the clay, teeny, teeny, tiny. And you might say, we're all different sizes. So maybe you could imagine that the bigger people in the room, your big sand particles. The smaller people in the room, your sedimentary. And the really small people like me, we're the clays. And we're all alone in this world of soil. Now the rain comes along. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happens when the rain hits you? Bing! All the clays, we expand because we're now smectitic clays. Look at us go. But something else can happen as well. You can be dislodged, yeah? So you find a bit of space. Find a bit of space. The rain keeps coming. Rain builds up on your soil, and you're all alone. What happens to you now? Where do you go? Whoosh! Woohoo! You're off. You get eroded. Suppose it's windy and you've all been really dry. You little clay guys, oh my God, and you're off, and you're flying away. You're getting blown away. It's incredible, isn't it? So being alone as a soil particle is really not very happy. Enter the soil biology. Enter the roots. And what happens? That's right, you start to aggregate. So just start to aggregate for me, would you please? Bind to your particles that are near to you. And now as you aggregate, look what happens. You become bigger. And how do you aggregate? What brings you together? Exudates from biology, from the plants, bacteria, oozing out polysaccharide glue to stick you together. Fungal nets going, yay, we're like Spider-Man, and sucking you in and holding you tight. Even roots going through some of the bigger aggregates and holding you together and exuding things into you. Biology is gluing you together and giving you structure. And the other thing it creates between you is pores, wonderful gaps, which are really, really important. Experiment number 2. Now you've aggregated. Everyone take a deep breath and hold that breath, because you've created this wonderful pore space, and it allows us now to explore the most important thing in our soils. Because in this pore space, this is where the worms are going to move. It's where the nematodes are going to slither. It's where little invertebrates are going to scurry around. Still holding your breath? It's where the fungal networks are going to extend. Doesn't sound like they're holding their breath over there. It's where the hyphal networks are going to go. It's where the roots are going to explore, recovering water. It's where water's going to come in. Still holding your breath? It's where the bacteria are moving on those moisture films as well, producing that polysaccharide glue, turning over nutrients as they go. How's your breath going? You want to breathe?
Yes.
Breathe. Because what's the most important thing in that soil? Air. Yeah, oxygen in that pore space. You are beautiful aggregates. By all means, please sit down. But that structure, taking that clay, that silt, that sand, building structure isn't just a chemical process. And as far as there's usually somebody goes, but haven't clay particles got a negative charge, and don't they sometimes? Yes, okay, great. But a lot of it is due to the biology in our systems binding our soils together to create structure. Good biology, good structure, good soils. How do you know it's good? How do you know you're good? We were talking a bit about this last night. How do we know we're all well? How do you know you're well? Gentlemen, did you wake up this morning and suddenly you get to a certain age, you go and see the doctor and say, oh, please put your finger up there. Ah! Did you go and do that this morning just to make sure that everything's still tickety-boo? I doubt it. Ladies, the old mammogram isn't exactly a pleasure experience, but did you wake up this morning and say, I just wonder, maybe I'll just go for a quick mam. We don't do stuff like that, do we? Who woke up and took their pulse? All the Apple Watch wearers in the room go, I don't need to, it tells me anything. It's like, woohoo! You woke up, you know you're alive. You don't need Apple to tell you. But we don't generally care in minute detail about our health, do we? We're all good today, we reckon. No one's coughing and spluttering and sweating profusely, which a couple of years ago we would have gone, oh my God, COVID's in the room, get out! Or you wouldn't have gone somewhere. But how do we know we're healthy? We kind of generally don't, do we? We're okay until we're not. Is that an all right stance to take with souls, do you think? No, why not? Because they're valuable, they're precious, they're alive, they're very fragile, and they need our help. Why? Because they reproduce very, very slowly, soils, but we can lose them in an instant. Erosion. I mean, I remember on the farm when the hydraulic hoses would suddenly go poof, and you'd be going, the oil's going everywhere, and nothing would grow where that oil went for quite some time. We can do an awful lot as humans to damage them. And more often than not, as land managers or as land practitioners, we're encouraged to do more to help them. Hopefully today, we'll discuss some of those means by which we can help. Doesn't mean you've got to take them away and do them straight away, but I want you to be mulling them over. I want you to at least make a pledge that when you leave here today, you will do more to help your soils going forward. Does that sound fair? Awesome. They're already saying yes. Job's done today. Oh, hey, easy audience. Cool. Because when it comes to soil health, what do we mean? Can you maybe write down what they say? Because we haven't got a whiteboard today. Would you be all right with that, Jeff? Because we're going to talk about soil health, but what is soil health? So I like to play a game, particularly with the farmers and growers in the room. If I say to you soil health, you say it is, or I say soil health is, and you tell me what it is. Because I love to know what it means to you. So what is soil health? You said some things earlier. Do you want to repeat some of them, or? Worms. We've got some worm experts in the room. I'm not a huge fan of worms. It gets too dry and they disappear. Where do they go? But okay, worms. There's always somebody who says worms. You're going to catch the words, yeah, for me, Jeff? Great, worms. Worms. Is that all? My soil is healthy if I have worms. We go out and dig some holes and look for some worms. What do you reckon? Think we'll find some worms right now? Termites. Microarthropods, yeah. We want to put some termites down there too. We're going straight for the big biology, the macrofauna. Bugs. Just bugs. Bugs. We like bugs. Bugs are good.
Mr. Nash would like that.
Cool. Smell. Yeah, good smell. Who sniffs soil? Yeah, I still do. I'm not supposed to teach students that anymore. You might kill them. Yeah, I might. Wouldn't that be fun? Smell this. Come on. I'll share a story with you later about a recent trip back from Darwin with a nurse. And she basically told me off for doing soil workshops in the Northern Territories because melioidosis is on the increase in the territories. And I went, you can't blame me for that. And she went, I am. And I went, okay. But there's a lot of nasty things in soil too. But what is soil health is? Come on, what is it? What is it? What does it mean to you? Water holding capacity. Yeah, why not? Water drives our systems, grows the plants that produce the exudates that feed the bugs that make the glue that stick it all together. Yes! Is that it? Soil health is water, worms, bugs. Is that all we're going to get? Plants. I'll go with plants. because they're that primary producer of that wonderful photosynthase that they're sticking out there in the soil, triggering that biological life. It's brilliant. I'm kind of dropping clues as to things I might think you might say. Diversity of the soil, or just diversity? Just want a bit of diversity. We're a very diverse group today. But let's have some diversity in our soils, sure. Absolutely. Resilience. The ability.
What does that mean? That is such a motherhood statement.
Can you see it? You can measure it. You can measure it. But resilience is that ability to bounce back. I prefer it when soils are resistant, or when our land management practices mean they don't have to be resilient to what we're doing, that we're in more harmony with them, but that's okay. Is that where soil health takes you then? Is that all the things you think of?
Chemistry.
Sorry?
Smell.
Smell? Yeah, we've had a bit of smell.
So for the chemist next to me, we better say chemistry.
You've got to say some chemistry. Yeah, okay. Well, no one else has mentioned organic matter. What do you reckon, people in the room? I think we should listen to Mark sometimes, but was organic matter important to you? Organic matter and carbon, yeah. And sometimes actually driving our systems to change, to get more organic matter, to get more carbon in there, can help. Means to do it can be challenging. And when I talk about trying to improve organic matter in our soils or carbon in our soils, I don't think about making ACCUs and capitalizing on it financially. I just think that it's a better way to farm. Because we know that building organic matter in our soils, guess what it does? It helps stick all those soil particles together to form our aggregates to give us structure. It's really important for that. It also, as it gets turned over by the wonderful biology in the soil, helps with the nutrient cycles that help produce our plants. So having more of it is undeniably a good thing. You done? Okay. Sorry? Certainly, you can keep going. You want to keep going?
So nutrients like NP and K.
Nutrients, well, that was where the chemistry I thought was coming from, but we can call it nutrients as well.
But you've just got to focus on NP and K.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
There's other stuff out there too.
No.
Yes, there is.
Physical properties like porosity and all those sorts of things.
Absolutely. Structure, which is where we started. Aggregate stability. Do you want these two to take over? Yeah. It's not about what they know. Today's about exchanging ideas. But
There's a whole book on it, isn't there?
books and schmooks. It's what they know and what it means to them. Because the reason I ask is you get all that stuff. Oh, it's about your carbon, it's about your bugs, it's about your plants, it's about your soils, it's about your structure, it's about your porosity, it's about your water, it's about your nutrients, it's about your chemistry. I think that's most of the ones you just reeled off. Great, there's 9 things. You're going to go out and measure all of those different 9 things. And some of those things, like the chemistry, is your NPK, it's your trace elements, it's all your other fun stuff. Even if you measure it, you've then got to be able to do something about management to make a change or a difference. It's not easy. Meanwhile, soil health, we now have an FAO unifying term for soil health, but basically it comes back to saying a healthy soil performs its function in a sustainable way. What's the soil's function? That's where the one thing to start. What do we want the soils to do? We want it to grow stuff. Food and fiber production is one of the things soils do, but we also use it to build our houses, our roads, our infrastructure. It preserves our archaeology. It helps deliver our wastes. It helps capture our water and our environments and filter some of the things we produce as man. It also sequesters and hides and harbors and supports a huge biodiversity of life. It's an incredible thing. All of those different functions maybe require different things in any of those things you've just mentioned. And we even got to what the term sustainable means, and let's not even worry about that for now. So soil health means a lot of things to lots of different people, lots of different ways. But generally what we can all do and explore today is hopefully ways in which we might think about making our soils better. Sound fair? All right, I'll probably shut up there. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you for having us here today. I'm going to try and keep us on time. That's my promise. Oh yeah, I didn't do any of my stuff in my slides at all, sorry. Whoops. Because what it comes down to at the very end, the very last slide says basically, soil health to me, it's about feeding our soils, about trying to provide that diversity of land cover where we can. And if we're doing that, if we're protecting the habitat and we're feeding it, we're all pretty good. That's what the last slide was all about. But yeah, we don't need that. It's more fun talking to you. Okay.